Alrighty, we'll go ahead and get started here. Hi everybody, we are the Livestock Data Analytics Senior Design Project Team. We created a solution for the Gudmundsen Sandhills Laboratory. We'll give you a little bit of an overview about Gudmundsen Sandhills Laboratory and what they do. Gudmundsen GSL, Gudmundsen Sandhills Laboratory, is located in Whitman, Nebraska. They perform multiple research projects among 500 cattle, 12,000 acres studying livestock nutrition, range nutrition, ranch ecosystems, beef cattle reproduction, grazing systems. And we were actually able to go out there. This is a picture that we took. The team took a field trip out to GSL and observed their workflows for data collection and beef cattle reproduction experiments and projects. A little bit about our stakeholders. Travis Molnix was our main point of contact with GSL. He's a range cow nutritionist. We also worked with Jackie Musgrave, who is a research technician at GSL. E.G. Schwang, who is a precision livestock management specialist, and John Nolet, who is the ranch manager at GSL. And a little bit about the team. I'm Andrew Wiedemann. I was the project manager and squad lead. We had Isaac Warner, who was the development manager, Mario Gomez, John Irwin, Riley Ellinger, and David Estrada, who are all developers. And we've got our, like I mentioned, product owner was Travis Molnix, who was our main point of contact with our sponsors. Bill Browning was our project manager. Dr. Shruti Bowman was our tribe lead, and Nate Benish was our project coach. Okay, so a little bit about our problem and opportunity. So currently, GSL, like I mentioned, GSL is primarily a research facility for the University of Nebraska. All data is recorded and analyzed through CSV files on Excel. There's a lot of duplicate data. Data gets duplicated across fields and between forms, and information is not searchable across multiple files. So I'll give you a little example about why this is an issue. If you want to gather and aggregate all information about a single cow, it's really difficult. It involves searching dozens of Excel forms, aggregating rows across many Excel forms. This severely limits organizational efficiency and GSL's ability to make fast decisions on the data that they currently have. GSL has 30 plus years of data based on cattle reproduction experiments and previous projects, but it's not very useful because it's all in Excel sheets. So we created a relational data model to store all the data on the cloud. We also create a cloud-based CRUD web app to manage and observe cattle data. A CRUD app is create, read, update, and delete. Okay, a little bit about our solution built. I think our project and our solution is pretty unique because we span over a dozen capital letter AWS services and solutions on the cloud. We definitely wanted to make something that was super scalable and super, very scalable on the cloud. So across the bottom here, you see all the cloud services that we interact with and the flow of information. And across the top are the specific technologies that those interact with. So the front end is hosted on Amplify. It's a Vue.js application. The front end is secured by Cognito for user management. The API is authenticated with Cognito for user management, and the Lambdas are also secured by Cognito for very specific roles within AWS. So information flows from the front end in Amplify, which makes a request to our API, which is exposed through API Gateway. The API Gateway communicates with AWS Lambda, which is a serverless cloud function service, which then aggregates data from RDS.
All right, so I'm Riley Ellinger. I was a developer on the team. Just gonna give you a brief overview of the web app and how it works and what it looks like. The home page isn't shown, but from the home page, you can easily search any project or individual cow. So you can see an individual cow, and we'll get to the cow page later and see all their data. But to start with the herd page, you have a drop down where you can have active inventory, so that would be like cows that are currently on the ranch, and then they can see historical data as well. Um, and then we have this data table to display all of this data. We have some identification fields, as well as like the most recent weight value and body condition score, just sort of the core measurements that they keep. Um, there's a lot of data, so as you can see, it's paginated, so we can speed up the response time. And something that is really cool is that every column is sortable and filterable. So if you could click on this filter icon, and you could search any specific field or sort in any way. And then um, once you get that data sorted and aggregated together, some subset of data, you can export it straight to a CSV file to be analyzed or modified in an Excel file. That was some functionality we would have loved to get into the app itself. We just weren't able to get that accomplished, so we wanted to make sure it was still find a way to make that work for the sponsors. And then if you click on the visual ID or the electronic ID, it'll take you to the individual cow page. Here you can see the static identification fields, and we have different tabs for different types of data related to the cow, just sort of a snapshot. The pregnancy, BCS, disposition, and weight, those are the most recent values for that cow. So it give you a brief current snapshot of the cow right now. You can also click on those fields and it will pull up a modal with a data table of all historical data, um, and easily see the average birth weight and wean weight of those calves so they can make quick decisions. Um, Next, you can see the pedigree. So you can see all the data for the calves of that specific cow and really see how that cow was produced, as well as see its progeny, the dam and sire of the cow. And then you can click on those links and see the individual data for those as well. And then the big thing is the projects page to be able to sort or to be able to store their projects. This was the most important thing with our project, so they could manage their research studies. Um, and as you can see, you can create a project, and they can manage their custom fields. That was the biggest thing with this project, was creating custom fields for them to manage without have to physically touch the database. They can do it all from the web app, since they don't have their own IT support or anything like that. And so you can see the title and brief description. If you click on a project, it'll take you to the project page. And right on top of the page, you can just see, again, that data there. You can upload data as well as download. Um, and if you go to the next slide, you can see the data table to display all of this data. Once again, all of these fields are sortable. You can click on these links to take you to an individual cow, um, and it gives you all of the relevant data for a project. These tabs up here give you more detailed information about the project, like the researchers and the needs of the specific project. Um, And so the main value that we were looking to add for our sponsors was that the entire all of their data is now searchable, whether that be a cow or for just as a single project. And you can see one single cow, all of its relevant data in one spot. You don't have to go searching for it through those Excel sheets. You can view historical data and make quick decisions with that data. So highlights for the project were we designed a pretty complex data model so that they could manage that data and those custom fields on their own, and designed the API to retrieve that data. We used the component-based front end to allow us to reuse a lot of the work that we did for that web app with utilizing the Vue framework, um, and hopefully provided a good foundation for GSL's data management for them to be able to add on to and build onto in the future. Um, and also have it all set up on AWS so they can manage that themselves and add on to it in the future.
All right. Thanks, everybody.